Now for more on Greece, we're joined by Chief Investment Strategist at Beaufort Securities, Michael Franklin. Michael, great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. How do you actually read into this? Because now it seems, okay, so no negotiations, and then they're kind of throwing mud at each other once again. It seems that there are false statements from a creditor's point of view of what the Greek government are trying to persuade the people in Greece to do.
Okay, well, I mean, the situation has become incredibly complex and confused, and I think even the Greek government now is not quite sure what time of the day it is. I don't mean disrespect by saying that, but I think it does make it difficult for the electorate to decide how they're going to vote on Sunday. I mean, the wording of it is quite complicated as well.
Very complicated.
And so I'm not surprised that Angela Merkel and Wolfgang Schäuble have decided to say, right, we wait until the referendum's out of the way and then we move forward on that. I think the EU is in a very difficult position because they've got to walk a very fine line between how they settle up with Greece, if in fact they do, and then not causing resentment in other countries, particularly, for instance, Spain, Portugal and Italy, where the electorate may feel that, you know, Greece is getting a soft deal here and they feel that their government should be tougher as well. So, you know, we've got to watch that pretty closely. Perhaps I could just add that on a historical note, if anyone's not familiar as to how Greece has got to this position, they should read Michael Lewis's excellent book from 2012, Boomerang, which shows you how Greece managed to massage its numbers to get into the Eurozone in the first place.
We're trying to move forward from that. I mean, we know what the past is.
No, absolutely, but I just context.
You know, the referendum
I
on
don't
Sunday
know.
is the big one.
I'll be up front. I don't know the outcome of that vote. It's been shifting, as you see, but we may well get, we may not necessarily get it, a yes vote. But there will still be negotiations after that, I think.
Well, let's just talk about, as Eric said, look, there's a long way to run. I mean, if yesterday was anything to go by, in the space of an hour, there were new offers, counter offers, there were minor changes. So take us through. We go through to Sunday night. The possibility of a no. The Greek people are being told, you know, double down, say no, it'll strengthen. Tsipras says this will embolden our position, it'll strengthen his position. Will it?
I'm not sure. I think the pressure on the government now is so intense. I think this is why Tsipras was flip-flopping yesterday. I think he started to realise that if there is a yes vote, his position is going to be that much more difficult. And in fact, we may well have to now go to another general election.
But that would suit the creditors, wouldn't it? I mean, ultimately, if there was a new election and a new group of people to negotiate.
Well, you'd think so, but then that raises bigger questions about what is the role of the EU. I mean, is it there to instigate regime change and all of that? You know, the Greeks are in a terrible position. A lot of it they've inherited for no fault of their own, but it's a question of how you go forward, and you have to restructure that economy. You have to make sure that what they bring in covers what's going out, and then you've got to deal with the huge debt that they've already built up.
Michael, what does it mean for investments? Because actually the markets have been very sanguine. Where do, you know, if we have a no vote on Sunday, it seems very difficult that actually we're not going to get some kind of bail-in for the banks, right? Is it suddenly going to put a lot more pressure on financial markets? And so how do you position yourself ahead of it?
Well, I think you've got to focus on contagion and the implications for banking around the world, not just the rest of Europe. And compared with, say, 2 or 3 years ago, the situation seems to be much more robust. We've seen comments from the Bank of England, for instance, showing how they are positioning themselves. Greece has now become quite a small player in the world scene, and I think to that extent we can feel a little more confident that the Greek situation could be dealt with.